She's got that look. She's got that style. She's got that conversation that makes you want to stay for a while. She's the all-American woman. Hi, it's your all-American woman here once again, talking about Black History Month. So today I wanted to bring you another book. This one is one for your children, your nieces, your nephews, your little cousins, whomever, or if you're a teacher, maybe a book to add to your collection. This is the African American Read Aloud Stories. There are 101 stories in this book. Don't you just love the illustration on the front of the page? And there are a lot of cool black and white illustrations inside the book too. Mostly African type pictures of the mosaic type patterns and things like that. Some of the stories are based on facts because they're stories about Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King Jr., and Colin Powell. But there are also fables, fairy tales, and myths in here. And I have to tell you, my favorite stories are in here. A series of Uncle Remus stories. Now, some of you probably never heard of Uncle Remus. If you've ever heard the song Zippity Doo Dah, and I'll give you a little excerpt. Zippity doo dah, zippity yay, my oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine coming my way. Zippity doo dah, zippity yay, Mr. Bluebird on my shoulder. If it's true, it's natural, everything gets satisfaction. Zippity doo dah, zippity yay, wonderful feeling this way. Oh my gosh, zippity doo dah. That was Uncle Remus's theme song when he used to come in and before he got ready to tell you a story about Brer Rabbit and Brer Fox, who were usually the main characters because Brer Fox was always after Brer Rabbit. But there were a lot of other Brer in there. And Uncle Remus talked with an old-time Negro dialect. So where some would say brother, he said brr. And Fox, but you always understood what he was saying. It wasn't like, his words were mushed together. He was a wonderful storyteller. Of course, he's passed away now. But I used to like, because they would have sometimes him tell his stories on the Disney Channel. And some people I won't say it was just black people, but some people did look down on Uncle Remus because they said his storytelling and having him, be on television or whatever was more of a degradation of black people, or the old-timey minstrels and things like that. But I never thought that of Uncle Remus. I thought he was a very sweet grandfatherly type character that told stories to not only just children of all ages and all races about these fictional characters, Mr. Fox or Brer Fox and Brer Rabbit and all of the friends in the Briar Patch or in that area that were just getting into trouble, especially Brer Rabbit, who was always getting into trouble or trying to trick somebody or do something he had no business. Or Brer Fox trying to get Brer Rabbit. And I love those stories. And they used to come on television when I was a kid. And I loved that song. And I'd just be up there singing along with the kids and Uncle Remus when he first came into that song. And I still know it and I love it. And it makes me very sentimental. And yeah, Uncle Remus, I think, was a national treasure. And that's my opinion. So his stories are in here along with so many more. And then there's some old hymns and chants like Kumbaya, which is actually a African song. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. And then some sing it with the with the English words, come by here, my Lord, come by here, and like that. So, and I know that that's one of the songs we used to sing as a Girl Scout around the campfire, Kumbaya. So that's in here. This book is rich with just so much culture and so much fantasy and fiction and just laughter and knowledge and just a lot of love. I love this book. Of course, I have not read every story, I have to tell you, but I have read a lot of them, and some of them I have seen in other books that I've read before, and I got from here. Now, and it also has some, the myths, African myths as well. And just a beautiful, beautiful book. If you don't have this book and you have children, no matter their race. I mean, people would say, if you, especially African American children or black children or whatever, but I would think that, just like you have, if you have children, I think you should have books and stories and things from all different races and all different cultures. Like when I talk to my kids and when I read them different books and stuff, I try and get something from different cultures and different races, because there wasn't a lot of that when I was a kid. There were not, there were a lot of fictional stories and then stories, but they were always from one perspective. They may have been diverse, but they were diverse in one race. And now there's so many different races are in cultures that have their voices in books, that it would be a shame for people to only have one group in their library, in their personal library. And it would definitely be a shame if that was the case in public libraries. So, yeah, I love this book. It's just so beautiful. And, because it mixes everything. It has everything in here. And it's all, separated in here so that you'll know what you're looking at. But you can just read some and tell. You have your myths and, your true stories, folk tales, fairy tales, rabbit stories, hawk and chicken tales, friends and helpers, biographies, liar, fool, and tall tales. I love a good tall tale. And history. And it even talks about slavery, growing up, and songs and poetry. Now, this is a book for children, for parents to read to their children. If you're worried, and so it's written so that children can read it and have it read to them, So, even though it deals with, very adult topics, it puts it in a way so that children can understand it and also, be able to consume it without being afraid of it or having nightmares and things like that. But I tell you what, if you read Brothers Grimm's books back in the days, if those stories didn't give you nightmares, nothing will, because those were some rough stories. I'm not talking about the Disney version either, but that's a whole nother topic. But please get this. This is a wonderful book. It's edited by Susan Cantor, and there are many different authors in here. And then it even talks about some of the stories that are in the book itself. It's 101 African American read aloud stories, and it's just something that if you don't have it as part of your library, you should get as part of your library, especially if you have children. And it doesn't necessarily have to have children in your home. You can have nieces, nephews, cousins, baby cousins, be a teacher, So things like that. It's just one of those books that's wonderful to have. And they probably have some of the stories that you grew up with that you never knew were African American stories. So that is my recommendation also for, Black History Month. So I hope you take it. I hope you read it. I hope you like it. If you have any recommendations for me, let me know at the bottom of the screen. And if you have read this one, let me know what you think. All right, that's all I have for today. I hope to see you next time.